Okay, it looks like we are live. So Deborah, if you would like to begin.
Thank you. Welcome. We are here today to learn about proposals for a minor variance in the zoning bylaw and applications for consent applying to certain lands in the municipality of Meaford. I'll start by introducing members of this Committee of Adjustment and staff. I am Deborah Young, Committee Chair. Our Vice Chair is Linda Van Ulst. We also have Terry Williams, Lynn Whitbeck, and Ed Ormsby, who are members of the committee as well. For staff, we have Kara Rogers, who is Secretary Treasurer of this committee and GIS Coordinator. Our planning staff in attendance include the Manager of Development Services, Liz Buckton, Planner Kirsten Morse, and Development Services Assistant, Helena Fascinato. I apologize. That was the first time and the Legislative Services Assistant, Carly Craig. Well, this committee is legally required to make decisions that conform to the county and local official plans, the Planning Act, and municipal policy and procedures encourage us to reach out to you, members of this committee, to hear your thoughts about the proposed applications. Your constructive comments will help us learn more about your neighborhood, which in turn will help us make informed decisions. Those who have pre-registered for today's meetings will have an opportunity to speak. You do not have to be solely in support or opposition. It is okay to share your thoughts about these elements that you do and don't like about the proposal, and to ask questions as well. While the applicant may have an opportunity to respond to questions and comments raised, in some cases, we may need to have staff carry out research on matters raised and provide answers or additional information to you following the meeting. Anyone who wishes to receive notice of any decision on any of the applications heard today will need to contact the Secretary Treasurer by email at planning@meaford.ca or by phone at 519-538-1060, extension 1119, to have their contact information added to the file for future notices. Okay, so we've had our call to order. Is there a disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? The adoption of previous minutes. May I have a mover and a seconder, please?
I'll second.
Oh, we missed whoever moved because we're getting some weirdness. Terry?
Who moved that?
I did, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have to still vote on that one.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. Are there any comments or questions about the minutes? Okay. Number 4 is business arising from previous minutes.
Oh, you have to vote on the minutes.
Oh. I apologize. We've had a mover and a seconder, no comments. And so all in favor? Now I have a problem here. I don't see Ed.
The feedback is really slow. Everyone's frozen. I'm just going to take a verbal vote. So if I can just call your name and you can say yes or no. Okay, so Terry?
Yes.
Voting to accept the minutes, yes. Lynn?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Ed?
Wasn't
You were
there,
right
so I
here.
better not say.
Okay, perfect. Deborah?
Yes.
Perfect. So those are carried.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I apologize. Now, number 4 is business arising from previous minutes.
There's none.
Thank you. We'll go into our public meetings. The first one. This is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to consider an application for minor variance under Section 45 of the Planning Act regarding concession 8, East Part Lot 24, reference plan 16R 4831, Part 1, known municipally as 265630 25th Side Road in the former township of St. Vincent, now in the municipality of Meaford. The requirement to hold this meeting is that there is at least 10 days notice as prescribed by Ontario Regulation 200-96 to the Planning Act. Kara, please confirm to me the day the notice was published and calculate that we've had at least 10 days notice.
Sure. So this notice was published on August the 13th, giving more than the 10 days notice.
Thank you. Kara, would you please summarize the application and provide us with any comments that have been received concerning this proposal?
Absolutely. So application A05 requests a variance to facilitate construction of a new detached garage on the property. The application requests relief from provision 4.1.1.4 of zoning bylaw 60-2009, which requires a maximum height of 5.5 meters for accessory structures. This application requests that the applicable accessory structure height be increased from 5.5 meters to 6.4 meters for the proposed garage. This variance will facilitate the construction of a new detached garage with space for an accessory apartment dwelling unit on the second floor. A minor site plan approval is also being evaluated by staff concurrently for the accessory apartment dwelling unit. So planning staff have recommended approval subject to a condition that it be constructed generally as shown as submitted with the application. The other comments received, Grey County Planning had no concerns. Grey Sauble Conservation Authority had no comments, and the Historic Saugeen Métis had no objection or opposition, and those are the only comments received to date.
Okay, thank you. Will you be providing the comments? Okay,
Yes.
Kirsten, are there any additional comments regarding this file?
Excuse me. So as Kara mentioned, we're recommending approval. The zoning does allow for accessory residential uses, as well as an accessory apartment dwelling unit to be located within a detached structure, subject to a minor site plan approval, which we're also evaluating. The request for the 6.4 meter in height is keeping in with what we have seen to be required for these types of second floor units. We've seen a couple of applications through zoning amendments and minor variances in the past. And being that the lot is located within an area of larger rural lots with accessory buildings sited at varied setbacks in heights, we don't expect that the increase in height will be out of character for the area. Also, the structure will be set back 21 meters from the front lot line and 6 meters from the west interior side lot line. So if you think about that in terms of a dwelling being permitted at 7.5 meters from the front lot line and 3 meters from the interior side lot line, the accessory structure is well within those standards. So essentially an 11 meter in height dwelling could be sited there. So we don't see that as having a very big impact on the area. And other than that, I'm happy to address any questions that you may have. And I also understand that the applicant has engaged a planning consultant who is also here today to address any questions on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you. Has each member of the committee visited the subject lands? Does any member of the committee have comment with regard to their site visit or with respect to the application? Okay. I now call upon the members of the public present who wish to make a comment on this application. Please state your name for the record before beginning.
Madam Chair, for the record. Sorry, can
Yes,
I?
thank you. Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, my name is David Capper. I'm a planning consultant with Glenn Schnarr and Associates in Mississauga. Our mailing address is 10 Kingsbridge Garden Circle, Suite 700, Mississauga, Ontario, L5R3K6. As Kirsten had mentioned, we are agents on behalf of the property owner. We've read the staff comments and recommendation to committee, and no concerns with either the comments or the conditions that are proposed. and we're in full support of the staff position. I'm here to answer any questions should there be any from the committee members. But other than that, I'm happy to move forward with the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, is there anyone else who wishes to make a comment or question? Okay. Let me see now. So nobody, there's no questions. Okay. Carol, please provide us with the suggested decision and conditions of the variance.
Sure. So this decision would read, the decision A05, being that the four tests have been satisfied, the committee hereby approves a variance to zoning bylaw 60-2009 as amended to provide relief from section 4.1.14 to A, permit the construction of an accessory building having a height not to exceed 6.4 meters, subject to the following condition: that the building be constructed generally in keeping with the design, massing, and siting illustrated on the prospective drawing and site plan accompanying the application. The reason for the decision would be that the committee is satisfied that the application meets the four tests of a minor variance as noted in Development Services Staff Report DEV 2020-40.
Thank you. Could I have a mover for that and a seconder?
Also move.
I can
Linda?
second that, Chair.
Who was the second?
Ed Ormsby.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, are there any questions, any concerns now? I now call for a motion, sorry, excuse me. So, ready to vote? All in favor?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So that's it.
Yes.
Debbie.
Okay, Kara, could you explain what is going to happen? Is it to David, I believe?
Sure. So that application is approved, David. So the notice for the decision will go out later this week, starting the 20-day appeal period. And then after that, if no appeals are received, then that will be approved, and the building permit will be available subject to the site plan being approved as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Same to you.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So
Are we ready for the next?
we can move on to the next one.
Next one?
Look at me go.
Okay. Okay, this is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to consider an application for consent under Section 53 of the Planning Act regarding Concession B, Part Lot 34, Reference Plan 16R 4791, Part 2, and reference Plan 16R-4640, Parts 11 and 12, known municipally as 438822 Gray Road 15 in the former Township of Sydenham, now in the municipality of Mayford. The requirement to hold this meeting is that there must be at least 14 days notice as prescribed by Section 53, subsection 5 of the Planning Act. Carol, please confirm to me the day the notice was published and calculate that we've had at least 14 days notice.
Sure. So this notice was published on August the 10th, giving more than the 14 days notice.
Thank you. Would you please summarize the application and provide us with any comments that have been received during concerning the proposal?
For sure. So application B08-2020 requests municipal consent to relocate an existing landlocked residential parcel, approximately 0.4 hectares or 1 acre in size, to a location approximately 130 meters to the west, such that it has frontage on a public road, which is Gray Road 15, by severing a new 1 acre parcel from 438822 Gray Road 15 and consolidating the existing 1 acre landlocked parcel with the retained parcel. This severance was previously approved through consent application B08-2017, but the severance lapsed due to conditions not being completed within the 1-year time frame established by the Planning Act. The application applicant requests to reestablish the exact same permission that was approved via application B08 2017. Planning staff have recommended approval subject to a condition for merging the lands. The other comments received to date are municipal building comments were that there was no existing permit on file and they had no concerns with the proposal. Sorry, 1 second. Yes, okay. The County of Gray planning staff have no concerns, but note that the applicant seeks to, if they seek to destroy or injure trees that extend more than 15 meters from the outer edge of the permit of the, for what the building permit is issued for, they should consult the Gray County Forest Management Bylaw. Gray Sable Conservation Authority commented that they have no objection as this is to reestablish a previously approved lot, and their previous recommendations have been largely addressed through the official plan and zoning bylaw process. They've recommended an engineered lot grading and drainage plan. County of Gray Transportation Services had no objection or concerns. Hydro One had no comments or concerns. Historic Saugeen Métis had no objection or opposition. Enbridge Gas noted that there are services running in the area, so if it is necessary to terminate or relocate services, it will be done at the owner's expense, and that any new service request should be made through their district office. And Bell Canada had no concerns, and those are all the comments received to date.
Thank you. Kirsten, are there any comments from the planning department?
I just wanted to mention that all of the prior permissions that were obtained through the official plan amendment and the zoning bylaw amendment originally are still in place, so nothing's changed, and we're recommending approval, being that the applicant is requesting the exact same approval as they had requested in 2017, which unfortunately lapsed because they didn't complete the conditions within the 1-year time frame. And if anyone has any questions, I will do my best to answer them.
Thank you. Has each member of the committee visited the subject lands?
Yes.
Does any member of the committee have a comment with regard to their site visit or with regard to the application?
Madam Chairman, it's Ed.
Yeah.
This might be a question for Kirsten. I'm just wondering how that landlocked lot was severed to begin with.
That's a good question. I don't know the history on that one. I don't know if maybe Liz knows at all, but yeah, it's an interesting spot for sure.
I agree. I remember this coming up 3 years ago and there wasn't an answer for that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Liz, is Liz?
Yep, Liz is there.
Okay. Liz, do you have a comment?
Yeah, so I don't have specific history on it, but I do think that it predates severance approval processes most likely. The way that it used to be is that if somebody wanted to create a lot, they just essentially surveyed it and registered it prior to subdivision control. So I think a lot of the really funky lots that we have out there were established before there was kind of routine evaluation of those lot creations. And I think that that's probably the case here as well, because it is a very unique kind of layout and setting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had that feeling also that it was just sort of housekeeping, a housekeeping type of situation. I now call upon the members of the public present who wish to make a comment on this application. Please state your name for the record before beginning.
I don't think there are any.
Nobody from the public?
Nope, I don't see anyone. I know the applicant wasn't available, so I haven't received any public comments. So
I think it's pretty straightforward.
yeah.
So, does anybody have a final comment, question? Okay. Kara, please provide us with the suggested decision and conditions of the severance.
Sure. So this decision would read, the committee in reviewing the subject application determined it to be compatible with the area, consistent with the policies of the provincial policy statement and the Meaford official plan. Thus, the application is approved subject to the following conditions. Number one, that The retained parcel arising from the consent be permanently merged on title with the abutting lot being concession B, part lot 34, with the pin of 37092-0138, which is roll number 42105100082460, and any mortgage on that lot be extended to the enlarged parcel. That's it.
May I have a mover and a seconder, please?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
And Terry?
Are there any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
so there's nobody on the line, but that is approved, and same process, it will go out this week in the notices.
thank you.
You can go ahead
You can
and
go
start the
ahead.
next one. We're just
Okay. just
like
like to-
masters now.
Yeah. Okay. This is a meeting of the Committee of Adjustment to consider an application for consent under Section 53 of the Planning Act regarding concession 3, part lot 32, known municipally as 599450, second concession north in the geographic township of Sydenham, now in the municipality of Meaford. The requirement to hold this meeting is that there must be at least 14 days notice as prescribed by Section 53, subsection 5 of the Planning Act. Carol, please confirm to me the day the notice was published and calculate that we've had at least 14 days notice.
Sure, so this notice was published on August the 10th as well, and so it gave more than the notice required.
Will you please summarize the application and provide to us any comments that have been received concerning this proposal?
Absolutely. So application B09 requests municipal consent to sever a parcel of land with existing dwelling and orchard of 2.7 hectares or 31.4 acres in size, with approximately 130 meters of frontage on second concession north. The retained parcel of land with existing dwelling, winery, building, and vineyards will maintain an area of approximately 32.5 hectares or about 80 acres in size, with 207 meters of frontage on second concession north. The applicant requests the severance to separate the proposed orchard and existing farmhouse dwelling from the Coffin Ridge Winery, implementing the recently approved local official plan amendment number 21, which authorized an exception to the agricultural lot creation policies of the local official plan to facilitate the severance of the 12.7 hectare parcel for agricultural purposes. So planning staff have recommended approval subject to the conditions listed in their report. Gray County planning staff have no concerns. Gray Sable Conservation Authority had no objection. They did recommend that the wood lot running along the slope feature identified in the county official plan as significant woodlands be maintained, and any desire to clear this land should be done in consultation with a qualified professional. Hydro One had no comments or concerns. Historic Saugeen Métis had no objection or opposition. Enbridge Gas noted that their service is running in the area. If it was necessary to terminate or relocate services, it would be done at the owner's expense, and any new service request should be made through their district office, and Bell Canada had no concerns. And that is everything received to date.
Thank you. Kirsten, do you have any comments to make?
I was just going to mention that this application is similar to the Van Dolder one we just heard, just in the fact that a local official plan amendment was recently adopted and is now in force in effect as of August 17th of this year. We're recommending approval, being that it is to implement the recently adopted official plan amendments, which would allow a parcel under 40 hectares to be created in the agricultural designation. And the recommendations of the Gray Sable Conservation Authority have been included as suggested conditions, and a number of reports, including an agricultural assessment, were included as the appendices to our staff report that go into detail about the approval. So if there are any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Thank you. Has each member of the committee visited the subject lands? Does any member of the committee have a comment with respect to their site visit or in respect with the application? I have a question,
Sure.
if I may. I just want clarification. So this, I gather it's the house that is there already.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay, and it's on the entire, like, it was part of the whole package.
Yes.
Okay, and so this isn't, who's going to live there?
I think it's the existing people who live there.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any change in ownership.
Okay, I didn't know. Or
I think
this
it
is
was
just
originally
housekeeping.
for farm help,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if that still stands. So
And is that really part of this application?
no,
Well, then I'll just mind my own business. Okay, well,
that's okay.
I mean, if it's none of my business, none of my business. Okay, I now call upon the members of the public present who wish to make comment on this application. Please state your name for the record before beginning.
And yeah, I don't think there's anyone for this one either. Ron wasn't able to make it.
Okay. Okay, any other question or comment? Okay. Kara, please provide us with the suggested decision and conditions of severance.
Sure. So the suggested decision would read, the committee in reviewing the subject application determined it to be compatible with the area, consistent with the policies of the provincial policy statement and the Meaford official plan. Thus, the application is approved subject to the following conditions. Number 1, payment of cash in lieu of parkland dedication for the severed lands. Number 2, that a consent agreement be executed and registered on title limiting development and site alteration within the significant woodlands and the 120-meter adjacent lands on site until such a time that an EIS has been completed to the satisfaction of the municipality of Meaford and the Grey Sauble Conservation Authority, demonstrating no negative impacts on the woodland feature nor its natural functions, and until such time that zoning mapping is updated by the municipality through a general amendment to establish appropriate restrictions. Number 3, that a consent agreement be executed and registered on title to act as notification of the species at risk habitat identified on a site and the obligations of the landowners at the time of the future works on the lands to undertake a species at risk assessment in accordance with the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks, the MOECP, and the Endangered Species Act. And that's everything.
Thank you. So I ask for a mover and a seconder, please.
Also move.
I'll second.
Lynn.
Okay. Last chance for any comments or questions. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Everybody. Perfect.
So that has been moved and seconded, and passed. So since there's no one on the line now, you can just say that it's going to go out and,
Yes, so that is approved and the notice will go out this week and that will start the 20-day appeal period. Yeah, so we can move
Okay.
on the agenda.
and we'll move on in the agenda. You have to find it first.
Sure. Number 6.
6 is other
We have
business.
nothing on other.
Okay, 7 is the next meeting. It says tentatively Wednesday, the 23rd of September at 3 p.m. at Meaford Hall, Opera House.
Yes. So as per the regulations and the decisions of the government, we are now allowed to meet in person. So yay. But we will do so at the Opera House. This is an accessible facility and they will provide technicians for sound and lighting and whatever needs to happen there. We will no longer be broadcasting it live. People can show up as per a normal meeting pre-COVID. There is all the everything in place in the building. They need to wear masks in. There will be sanitization on the way in, on the way out, and there will be social distancing based on the seating because there's ample seating there for any of our types of meeting. And additionally, we always still have the avenue available where people can they can submit their comments ahead of time by email, by mail. So there will still be options for those who are not comfortable with attending in person.
Will they have an option to Zoom?
There will be no
There'll be no
Zoom
Zoom.
and there will be no live broadcast. It will be an in-person meeting back to the way it used to be.
Okay.
If anybody would like to have any comments about that or any concerns, now is great or
Where-
later by.
Where exactly in the Opera House?
Like the top, like the big opera house with the stage, like we will be up on the stage and the audience, the public will sit in the audience gallery. So that will provide ample space between us and them. And I'm not sure exactly how the setup will look on the stage with all of us to be distanced, but that will all be arranged. Oh, they're 6-foot tables. So I guess we'll all get our own table.
Okay. Okay. Are there any more questions about that?
Is everybody comfortable with that?
Fine with me.
I am,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So we can adjourn this meeting.
We can adjourn this meeting at 3:32. Wow,
Amazing.
that is amazing.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Now
Bye.
See you in person.
Nice to see
know.
everybody.
Yay.
I even have my post-pandemic hairstyle again. I'm thinking of doing something very different, so you'll be, but then I may not. It depends on how I feel that day.
Pink.
Aye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.